Next to me is the Mclaren Speedtail, the spiritual successor to the Mclaren F1. With a 3-seater layout, central driving position, and an extremely long tail, the Speedtail is one of the most unique hypercars ever made. So, what is it like to drive, and is it worth its near $4 million price tag with options? Today, we're gonna find out exactly that. Powering the Speedtail is a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 and an electric motor, making a combined output of 1,035 horsepower and 848 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 happens in 2.9 seconds, but the really impressive stat is 0 to 186 miles an hour in just 12.8 seconds. That's actually 0.8 of a second faster than the Bugatti Chiron. Its top speed, 250 miles an hour. 10 miles an hour faster than the legendary Mclaren F1. And the crazy part is that's actually an electronic limited top speed. It likely can go even faster. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you about my new car auction website, PocketListAutos.com. If you're looking to sell your vehicle, it's the newest auction website powered by influencers, some of your favorite YouTubers like Archie Hamilton, Street Speed 717, etc. List your car for free, get it up super fast, and if you're looking to buy a car, we've got an awesome selection of vehicles right now, ranging from a Boss 429 to a 458 Spider to cars like an RWB Porsche. Check it out, PocketListAutos.com. On its own, the V8 in the Speedtail makes 746 horsepower. That's 36 more than the 720S. Perhaps that's the tuning that they put in the 750S. Now, McLaren claims this is the most power-dense battery ever to be fitted in a production car. So how do you charge it? Well, you don't just plug it in like it's some lowly Tesla. Nope, it uses wireless charging. That's right, McLaren supplies you with a charging pad that you just drive over and it charges your vehicle. Now, despite the fact that it looks very, very long, it's still pretty lightweight at just 3,500 pounds. So I'm incredibly excited to see how this thing actually handles. And like the McLaren F1, it's extremely rare, with only 106 ever being built. Now, the front of the Speedtail and nearly the entirety of the car's design is all about aerodynamics. So we don't have any massive scoops that are going to cause extra drag. It's very simple, so it can be slippery and reach that top speed. Now, funny enough, because this is a Hyper GT car, we actually have two different trunks. The front trunk, you can activate on the key here. It's got two different trunk buttons, the front and the rear, and a picture of the McLaren Speedtail. This key is actually really cool. It's a little bit bigger than standard McLaren keys. So we'll go ahead and open that up to reveal quite a small trunk, actually. But check out what's inside. McLaren Speedtail luggage. Gotta be really careful with this thing because I'm sure it's worth more than my life. Full carbon fiber and leather. Let's go ahead and put that back in. And then underneath here are golden tools. Yes, that's right. You get a golden snap-on tool set that actually says McLaren Speedtail on them. The side profile of the Speedtail is unbelievable. If they called this car the extremely, extremely long tail, that would be a suiting name as well. But on the side, there are some really unique stylistic elements that I've never seen before on any other car. Starting with these aero discs. These are made in 1K carbon fiber, and they improve aerodynamics by allowing wind to travel past the wheel well and not get caught up in the wheel well, causing turbulent airflow. That'll cause drag and also lift. Now, one of the craziest parts of the car is this right here. If you look at it for a second, you realize there's no side view mirrors. That's because if you're in the center seat, it's really hard to see those mirrors. Instead, we've got these little cameras that fold away when you lock the car. The cameras are then attached to two screens on the A-pillars that let you know what's to the left and the right of the car. There is no rear view mirror, however, or rear camera that operates when you're driving, so can't really see what's behind. The Speedtail also has a massive roof scoop that is giving me roof scoop envy. It just looks so darn cool. So how do you get inside the Speedtail? Well, there's two ways to do that. There's some hidden buttons right here for lock and unlock to open the door, but the coolest way is actually on the key. If you press and hold the unlock button, watch this. The doors are going to raise up, both of them simultaneously, to allow you to get into the vehicle. All cars should have this. Electronically operated doors, that's epic. Now the rear of the Speedtail is extremely cool thanks to that extra long tail. Really the coolest part is the overhang length over those rear wheels looks like nothing else ever. Now, talking about things you've never seen before on any other car, this actually has bendable carbon fiber ailerons built into the body. So this part of the carbon fiber actually bends upwards to a large degree to act as an air brake and also help slow the car down and create more downforce. How insane is that? I don't understand how they're able to make this carbon fiber bend without creasing or cracking. Now, because it's a Hyper GT car, we also have a trunk. It's got a decent amount of storage space back here, honestly. And because it's a 3-seater, you can take 2 of your best friends or 2 girls that obviously love you for your personality and not your $4 million Mclaren Speedtail. Now, let's put some perspective into how much options cost on the Mclaren Speedtail. This Speedtail badge isn't in aluminum or steel. Nope, it is solid platinum. How much do you think that costs? Well, the answer is $84,000 to have your Speedtail badge look pretty much the same as aluminum. Now, this is carbon fiber, but it's actually called 1K carbon fiber, which looks really cool in the sunlight. From afar, you can't really tell it's carbon. It's kind of cool. It's like this humble Speedtail, if you could call it that. Oh, it doesn't look like it's fully exposed carbon fiber, but it actually is. Well, that's a $600,000 option. All told, this car has about $1 million worth of options, pushing the price up to about $4 million. Another awesome feature of the side of the McLaren are the windows. Now, they're not practical whatsoever, but they're designed after the McLaren F1, and I think that's an awesome tribute to that car. Literally only this section goes down, so if you want to go to a drive-through, or I was really thinking, if you go to a parking garage, how are you going to reach your arm out the window to put your credit card in the pay machine? I guess that's why you've got 2 passengers that can hop out for you. Now, I'm going to embarrass myself here. I'm going to open this car up and climb into it on camera to see how difficult it actually is and show you what the experience of climbing into the Speedtail is actually like. Now, McLaren claims that they've designed the seat material to be slipperier so you can easily get into the center seat. There also is a handle right here to climb on in. So let's see if I can get my butt all the way in. Actually, not terrible. And now we are inside the McLaren Speedtail. I'm gonna shut the doors now and I'll see you guys inside here. This is the best feature ever. Bye. Bye. Now, as far as interiors go, it doesn't get any cooler than this. To fire up the McLaren Speedtail, because we're in the center of the car, where the center console would normally be, where'd they put it? Well, they located it up on the roof, which is just the coolest thing. You click the red engine start button and it fires up that twin turbocharged V8. Now, next to that is the drive controls, reverse neutral drive, active mode, so you can change the suspension as well as the handling independently from one another. And then there's a blue button like the start stop button called velocity mode. That lowers the car by 1.4 inches, so it's slower to the ground, less drag, and that's how you reach the 250 mile an hour top speed. Now, if you're in the center of the car, how are you gonna open the doors? They're like really far away from you. Well, there's door buttons up here on the roof. Same with the window controls. We can lower that window down, which once again, isn't very big whatsoever, but watch this. Press and hold, and then you can release, and the door opens just like that. This thing is just way too cool. All right, I'm gonna hop into this seat right here to see if I can fit. And the answer is yes, there's plenty of headroom. It's a little tight, but honestly, I think I could sit a couple hours in here and I would survive. This is just the coolest car. Being in the center of the car is very unique, but it makes sense, right? Formula One cars, you're driving in the middle, go-karts, etc. So why not a road car? Might take some getting used to, but honestly, it looks very, very intuitive. Now, there's no side view mirrors. That's because we've got a screen to the right there and a screen to the left there. You can see a little hint of ambient lighting here. If you go onto this left screen, you can actually select different ambient light colors inside of a hypercar, which I think is awesome. Now, this is one of the coolest features, electrochromic glass. I believe they first debuted this on the McLaren 720. So right now, everything is really, really dark. It's blue tinted. That way, if there's sun, you don't get blinded. So what happens when you click roof transparent? All of a sudden, it fades away so you can see more clearly out of the vehicle. That is just So darn cool. And you can even control each section individually from one another if you want maybe this to be covered because the sun's right up there, but you want the rest to be open and airy. Now, we've got a really cool instrument cluster right here. If you change the drive mode, it pops up and shows you on the screen itself. And then here we go, we've got the media controls here, which of course I had to attach my iPhone because I wanted a McLaren Speedtail to be on my Bluetooth. Really nice Bowers & Wilkins speaker system, beautiful carbon fiber. Now there's even some storage in the passenger seats on the right and some storage to the left. Being able to look back at your passengers is so funny. Now, because there's no side airbags right here, that is why this car is technically not street legal in the US. Behind the wheel of the Speedtail now, and this is an absolutely surreal experience being in the middle of the car with two seats on either side of me. Initial impressions, it is so smooth and easy to drive. It feels like a McLaren GT, like a car you could sit in and drive 3,000 miles across the country, no problem at all. The steering is nice and light. We'll test out the handling later on, but it just feels really easy to drive. Once again, I thought I was going to be intimidated by this $4 million car, and honestly, drives like a comfortable McLaren in comfort mode. Obviously, if we put it into sport mode, farther up the road where we can open this thing up, it gets a little bit more aggressive. Visibility is unbelievably good out of the front window, particularly because you're in the middle of the car. Now, the side cameras do take a little bit getting used to, but honestly, they're really clear. I actually really like that. I can't imagine what it's like to have your passengers right behind you. That's gotta be such a funny sight to see. But man, this thing is so smooth. The transmission is instantaneous. I know McLaren transmissions shift lightning fast, but for some reason, this just feels quicker and smoother than any other McLaren I've ever driven. I don't think it has faster shift times, but it sure feels like it does. The suspension just soaks up bumps. It does share suspension with the 720S. It shares a lot of things with the 720S. The engine, the transmission, obviously been retuned for the Speedtail. Now we've got the Mercy SV in front of me sounding so insane. Let's see what happens when we push on the gas a little bit and let off. That roof scoop noise above my head is so intoxicating. And even at lower RPMs, because we have that electric powertrain, you don't get any lag whatsoever. Even at like 3,000 RPM in third gear, you step on it and you get a surge of power forward from that electric motor, and then the turbos kick in and it absolutely rockets forward. The steering wheel feels fantastic in your hands, as do the paddles. Wow, I'm in love with this thing. This is definitely one of the coolest cars I've ever driven. You know, I was expecting as something that's so long. It's got a 2.3-inch longer wheelbase than the McLaren 720S, but then it's got 22 inches of extended length in the back. I think it might be almost 23 inches. So you're thinking, how nimble can it be? Can it really handle that good? Well, it turns out it actually can. So we're gonna put it into sport mode now. Suspension stiffen up a little bit. The response is definitely more intense. Downshifts, nice and quick. It sounds good. It's unbelievably isolated in here. This has to be the most refined McLaren ever made. You don't hear any wind noise or tire noise. You're in your own world in here. I tested out the speaker system earlier. It's absolutely phenomenal. The bass, the clarity, everything is amazing. You feel like you're in a spaceship in this car. You really do. With the 3 screens and sitting in the middle, and then you just get this slight peripheral vision, or whatever it's called, where you're looking slightly up of the controls up here to remind you that yes, you can put it into a slippery mode. The road gets a little bit bumpy up here, so I'm not gonna put it into velocity mode. Drops the car by 1.4 inches and allows you to reach that 250 mile an hour top speed, which if this was my car, I'd definitely, I'd try that out immediately in an undisclosed location, but obviously gonna respect the beast and not go 250 miles an hour in somebody else's car. All right, we got a stretch of open road right here next to the Mercy SV. Let's see what this thing is all about. Holy crap! Holy crap, this thing's fast. That electric power hits instantly. Oh my God. This is so surreal to drive. Unfreaking believable. It's kind of weird not being able to see behind you, I'm not gonna lie. I know there's a Mercy SV behind me. I'm reviewing that today as well, so stay tuned for that, but I don't really care because all I care about is what's happening forward. This thing is unbelievable, actually. Wow. Oh, it's relentless power, and when you let off the gas, that unbelievable roof scoop noise. Oh my God, it almost feels like it pulls harder as you start accelerating to higher speeds. Holy moly. Oh, this thing is awesome. It's so smooth and so fast. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit. Whoa. This is crazy. Honestly, it pulls like a Bugatti up until whatever the heck speed I just went. Obviously, oh my God, this is just a wild, wild, wild experience. We'll do a couple more pulls and then we'll put it back into comfort mode and experience what driving this, you know, on a daily basis would be like. I'm in love with this car. I didn't know what to think. I thought maybe it would be a straight line car that's not good around turns, that, you know, isn't quite as fast as you think it is because it's heavy. Well, it's not heavy. It's 3,500 pounds, which really for a hybrid isn't bad whatsoever. And it can go around turns. It's way more nimble and way sharper. I mean, obviously McLaren has incredible handling cars, but I thought with this, you know, it looks like a top fuel dragster. It's so stretched out, but it's actually unbelievably impressive just how well this thing handles. Oh, I am in love. I've got so much adrenaline. This thing is scary and incredible all at the same time. All right. Well, special thanks to the Triple F collection for making this video possible. This is just so incredible. Please subscribe to their channel, please. They've got the coolest collection. They're a great group of guys, and you guys gotta show them the love from Vehicle Virgins because this was one of the best days of my life. This car is just so freaking amazing. You could drive it across the country, you could drive it to 250 miles an hour, and you could probably have fun on the track as well. It's comfortable, the speaker system's awesome, you can bring 2 of your best friends. It doesn't get any better than this. All right, guys, see you next video.